Al, what whining are you talking about? Well, let's go all the way back in time to March of 2020. We're going into spring training. The New York Yankees have been marinating and salivating on the opportunity to talk about that report that came out after Mike Fiers, who was not willing to give up his World Series ring, talked about the Astros cheating in an article with, I think, The Athletic. Aaron Judge was asked about a tweet that he had deleted congratulating Jose Altuve for winning the MVP in 2017. Here is what Aaron Judge had to say.
I really, don't want to get into the whole, if Altuve stole a, MVP or not, because that really don't matter. It's over with, man. And, the biggest thing is, I got to make sure next time I don't keep the vote so close, I guess. Try to go out there and win it outright, so there's no, no question.
Yak, 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 yak. Yak, 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 yak. Okay. Slow your roll a little bit, huh? I think that what Jose Altuve had done for the 4 years before that merited an MVP, regardless of what took place in 2017. I was a big drum beater of Altuve wins on a he should have won one of these last 4 years award. Altuve led the American League in hits for 4 years in a row. Altuve led the American League in stolen bases 2 of those 4 years. I felt like it was a body of work kind of thing. And to commemorate how good the Astros were in that season, a season where, okay, George Springer definitely helped them out in the playoffs, and Carlos Correa helped them out in the playoffs too. But Altuve was the leader of a team that went from being an absolute joke in 2014 to being the team that won the World Series in 2017. And I felt like the best way to acknowledge what he had done over the last 4 years and to commemorate a team that had won the World Series is that Altuve gets that MVP. I might be wrong on the way that I look at it, but that's how I looked at it. I felt it should have been a body of work kind of award. And Aaron Judge is acting all bent out of shape because he wasn't able to win the MVP in that season. Was he clearly the best player on the best team? Was he the reason that the Yankees went as far as they did that year? No, he wasn't. I felt like there were other players that were helping to contribute on that team, no matter how good of a rookie season he might have had. But anyway, that's an individual award. Aaron Judge also feels like the 2017 World Series, this is going back to 2020 once again, his before the spring training press conference, where he said that, yeah, the Astros haven't actually earned anything.
I just don't think it holds any value with you cheated and you didn't earn it. That's how I feel, is it wasn't earned. It wasn't earned the way of playing the game right and fighting till the end and knowing that we're competing, we're competitors, and the biggest thing about competition is laying it all out in the line, and whoever's the better player, better person, comes out on top. When you just lay it out there, and to know that another team had an advantage that nothing you can really guard against. That I just don't feel like that's earned, or it's not earned.
If you're a Yankees pitcher, you're allowed to bitch about it. I'll allow it. If you're a Yankees batter and you sucked in that postseason, what do you have to bitch about? You take a look at Aaron Judge's postseason numbers, honestly, until the last couple of games against the Guardians, it's been embarrassing. Talking about one of the best hitters supposedly in baseball, one of the faces of the game, and he has not been good in the playoffs. Is it enough to call him a choking dog? No, he has done at least something. He hasn't Kershaw'd his way through these playoffs, but Judge being indignant about it, about how the Astros didn't earn it, as a guy who had his own shortcomings and failures along the way in all of these series between the Astros and the Yankees, that is what bothers me the most about the Yankees chirping. You were in control of this situation too. What did you do? You didn't do bleep. You sucked. You did. You were striking out left and right. That is a thing that you do a lot. You are one of the most strikeout-heavy hitters that we have seen in baseball over the last couple of years. No doubt, massive human being, all sorts of power. It's just that the American League record for home runs in a season, it was way overcovered. Whatever, that's fine. Aaron Judge is a good player. He hasn't been good in the postseason. To put the blame on another team cheating because you failed is lame. It is. And it seems like he has moved on based off some comments he made before the series, but I don't really buy that he moved on. Brian Cashman still has not moved on, and Brian Cashman believes that the reason that he does not have another World Series is because of the Houston Astros. He brought that up multiple times this year, and he had a chance to potentially say, look, it's in the past. He didn't. Instead, in an article that was written March 30th for The Athletic, the only thing that stopped us, this is Brian Cashman's voice. This is what he sounds like because we couldn't find the quote. was something that was so illegal and horrific. So I get offended when I start hearing we haven't been to the World Series since 2009 because I think we actually did it the right way. We pulled it down. We brought it back up. We drafted well, traded well, developed well, signed well. You didn't play well, dumbass. Jesus. This is a triggering comment to me. And the idea that you're offended, that the reality isn't the reality that you want. I identify as someone who won the lottery multiple times. I have more money than anybody in my own mind, but it's all those other people who played the lottery who stole it from me by cheating. How did they get it and I didn't? Maybe they had some inside information. Maybe they broke into a convenience store and stole the correct ticket. Maybe they forged it. I can't say, but they have it and I don't and I want it. So instead of just admitting I'm jealous and that I have come up short of the expectations associated with me as general manager of a team that used to actually have standards, I am going to blame the team that has beaten me in 2015, 2017, 2019. And I'm just going to do it laissez-faire because no one's going to call me on it in New York. There are so many mouth breathers who work in that city talking about that team who, are quite honestly like Neanderthals, like that Don LaGreca guy who is Michael K's little side piece on that non-energy show that somehow actually gets good ratings. That show consistently talks about how, well, you can't trust the Astros as far as you can throw them. And I feel like because they got Michael K, voice of reason, not biased at all as the voice of the Yankees, who's too busy with his head all the way up the dead carcass of George Steinbrenner's ass, that franchise can't for the life of them actually look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what, we just sucked and we should move on. And I want that clip to be played on the Jumbotron at Minute Maid Park that does not play anything of note. I want that playing the whole game, okay? You guys at Minute Maid Park, if you're listening right now, if you're one of the people that operates the scoreboard, you guys don't do anything on that Jumbotron, right? Can you just play that? Can you play Aaron Judge whining? Can you play Brian Cashman whining? Can you just do something, okay? We're not going to see any replays of the game, for God's sake. So when I'm up in center field, enjoying my El Tiempo $400 margarita, thanks, Biden, I would like to actually see something that's going to get me up and rowdy. I don't know. How about this one? Because Brian Cashman wasn't done. He wasn't done in March of 2022, whatever. I can't speak English right now. He wasn't done with the preseason comments that he made. He kept going, and Jesus, you know whating floopity boop. This guy just can't let it go. Here's more.
I said, no one's buying the tune he's singing, so no one's going to dance to that tune. And the reason I kind of equated it to a parking ticket to a felony, trying to equate a parking ticket to a felony, as you recall, they lost multiple years of draft picks, first-round draft picks. They were fined millions of dollars and decided to fire their manager and general manager because of their actions. There's no equivalent to any of it. So that's why I said it's a deflection. No one's buying it. No one's singing to that dance tune. It is what it is. So, but I applaud him for trying. So.
You know what? It's funny that he mentions like a manager and a general manager getting fired along the way. Because I honestly just spaced out when he mentioned that. How have you not been fired? You suck at your job. You're not good at it. Like, you were good at it at one point, no doubt about it. But I mean, my God, you're a dinosaur. Imagine being in New York City. Ooh, this is the city, where you got to fight for every single scrap that you got. You got to, do everything you can to make it work in the concrete jungle. If I can make it then I'll make it anyway. And yet, here you are, still with the job, despite having more money than God, and you haven't won a title since 2009. And the title that you won in 2009 is because you brought in Mr. Cheaty Pants himself, Alex Rodriguez. But no, there's double standards, okay? You can't call out the Yankees for doing something that everyone else was doing during the steroid era. But you can call the Astros out for doing something that every other team was doing during that era. The Tigers were doing it. Patrick Creighton laid out a tweet thread online, and I encourage you to check it out. The Tigers were cheating. The Rockies were cheating. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the list goes on and on. The Rangers. They were all doing varying things. Did the Astros do the worst cheating? There's no denying that at all. But that these are the guys, the Yankees, who have done nothing for years, are the ones that keep bringing this up as the reason that they didn't get there. That is why they deserve all of your vitriol, and that is why that team, their fans, and everyone associated with them, including the IG thoughts that put those hats on, those Yankee hats, and act like, oh, look, I'm making a fashion statement. You're all losers. You all make excuses, and you don't have that killer instinct. You suck. I hate you, and I hope you get swept.